Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Shane Mata, and today is the 14th of April 2021. The Bitcoin pump continues today. We are seeing, well, actually it's come down a little bit. Let me double check on that real quick before we go too far. So at the moment, Bitcoin is at 63,157, which it's come down a little bit. I think it was getting close to 65,000 at some point today. But in any case, that's not bad, right? It's pretty good deal, pretty good run. The CRO token right now is roughly 20 or 0.2375. It's almost 24 cents, which is pretty good. We're experiencing some gains. I think like about 6 or 7% today. Pretty good. When Bitcoin went down a little bit, we dropped a little bit of the price, but I'm comfortable at 0.2375 cents. That's 6.5% up for the day. So yesterday we talked about how many tokens are delegated, and today we're just not much of a change. We're at 2.436 billion tokens delegated on the DeFi wallets, which are paying out right now. Last I checked, roughly about 18% interest. So I think at this point we're going to start kind of finding that equilibrium point where people are dropping out to find other opportunities that pay more interest. For example, on the same DeFi wallet for the Crypto.org DeFi wallet, I saw that TUSD, the True USD, is paying. Let me pull it up real quick. Is paying about 25.25%. A day or two ago is paying out like 100%. So that's another opportunity right now. So if you have some TUSD, it might be a good time to hop on over and do some yield farming on that. But in any case, yesterday I did talk about the possibility of reaching $1 million on Bitcoin, and that I had seen an interview, and so I went back through my video history and I looked it up, and it was actually the April 12th episode of Crypto Zombie, and he had a clip in there with Raul Powell, and I can't remember the other guy's name, the host of the interview, but they were thinking about, or they were kind of comparing the Bitcoin cycle of 2021, or was it 20? I don't recall. Back to the 2017 cycle, so it would have to be the 21. And that as far as gains, they're saying that we're ahead of the 2017 charts. They're kind of comparing the charts for this year versus previous super cycles or cycles of Bitcoin. And so 2017, compared to then, we're ahead of the game a little bit. And that we're expecting this cycle to top 250 to 288,000 for this year, or by the end of the cycle. And so that one thing they mentioned is that if everybody expects it, then it doesn't happen, because by then what ends up happening is smart money is already priced in the changes, and kind of like when you buy a dividend stock, if you buy it like right before the ex-dividend date, the price is adjusted so that way excuse me, it's already priced in, so you're not really going to get that much of an advantage by buying the day before the ex-dividend date, because people already know it's coming. So in any case, that's like, again, if everybody expects it, then it doesn't happen because people have already priced it into the market. So the question then is what if we overshoot? They're looking at maybe 400,000, and if they break the 400,000 wall, then certainly it's possible to hit the $1 million. And so they were talking or discussing a little bit about how 2014, the market crash or the Bitcoin dump was around the time of Mount, or the big news in that day was the Mt. Gox. Was it a hack? I don't remember. So Mt. Gox figured greatly into that one. And then in 2017 was the ICO craze with all the scamming and all that sort of thing. and so that kind of made the market dump as well afterwards. And so they're expecting that maybe in 2021, there's not much going on that could go wrong. So they're expecting that maybe there might be a smaller setback or a smaller drawdown in the price of Bitcoin. And so, again, referring back to the seasonal cycle of Bitcoin, it goes up in January and then it corrects a little bit, and then February, you have some gains and it corrects through March and April, which we're in April now. So now this is when we start seeing the pump. Then typically, Bitcoin explodes in June, and we're thinking maybe 100,000, right? And then it'll correct sideways until about September, October. So, and then at September, October, you have another explosion till the end of the year, and then that'll close the cycle at that point, right? So next year, they're thinking that there might not be a big collapse because, like we've had in the past, because there is no Mt. Gox, there's no ICO craze, and also because there is all this institutional money that is propping up the price of Bitcoin. So it'll just kind of be a sideways correction. It'll just trade within a range. And so because of that, we may see a long time, for people to accumulate Bitcoin throughout that sideways market action. And so this is where I'm a little bit confused, because our old pal does talk about running some calculations and doing checking it, that he did for one standard deviation, and I think it's referring to for this market cycle, not the 2022, but for 2021, that we're underpricing the potential rise of Bitcoin. That if it goes over one standard deviation, we could look at possibly $400,000. And if the price of Bitcoin jumps 2 standard deviations, which it has done in the past, then that's why we're looking at $1 million Bitcoin for this year. And that's what I am understanding, unless my timing is off and he was actually referring to 2022. But in any case, what they're trying to say is that the skew of their projections are to the low side of so they're shooting at $150,000 to $200,000, but there's a distinct possibility that that's just the minimum, and we may see much higher gains this year. So if it does happen, then that would be incredible, and particularly for CRO, bringing this all back to CRO, is because CRO tends to follow Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up, CRO tends to go up. Bitcoin comes down, CRO tends to come down. And so we're if we have this great opportunity to accumulate as much CRO as possible and take advantage of this this loose correlation that CRO has with Bitcoin. It's not a 1-to-1, but they do tend to go in the same general direction, if not the exact same direction. That's my thesis, and that's the reason why I've been accumulating CRO, particularly or specifically so I can get the IC white card. But it all comes together. It all works together towards generating some I suppose generating wealth or generating some decent savings. And of course, just like everybody, I'm not a financial advisor. I've got to where I am so far by accident. So I think I've been trying to be smart about the whole thing, but the reality is that every big decision that I've made has been accidental, that has landed me so to come as far as I have so far. So definitely I would not recommend taking my word as gospel, because I could just as easily be wrong, and I will accidentally end up doing something that is favorable or unfavorable, and so that's where I stand on that part. So I think that's what I wanted to bring back, because I yesterday I wasn't satisfied the way that I did the recording. So I'm going to end it here. So I'll bring it back tomorrow. I'll have to think of a topic. I mean, I'm happy to talk about CRO, but there's not much to do right now other than just wait for it to go up. I mean, once it hits 25 cents, then the next goal, is for it to hit 50 cents. For me, at least, like mentally, at least. If it hits 50 cents, then I don't know. It kind of prices me out of a lot of things because I only have like $150 every pay period to put into buying tokens, and that kind of will slow me down because it'll be double the price of what it is now. So I'll only be able to buy half of the tokens that I'm able to buy now. So I might have to raid some savings and jump in there before the price goes up much further. So I think this is the time when FOMO is probably going to kick in for a lot of people, and it might be the best time to jump in before the price gets driven up too far. I think everybody right now is expecting this what do you call it? This pump, which we had mentioned earlier, where it pumps in February and then corrects in March and April. Well, we're halfway through April and we're almost at May, so the next big pump is going to be in June. So we can expect at least modest gains between now. Well, actually, you know what? I think based on the technical analysis that other people have done, that I've been watching, we were trading sideways for a while, and this is the big breakout. So maybe the June pump might be a little bit early. Who knows? Otherwise, then this is going to be a pretty decent pump for a while until the June one comes in, and then that one I think is going to probably melt your brain. All right, well, I'll call it off here for sure. That's it for today. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.